Hey everybody, Shane here, dailyastrocat.com. Today is Tuesday, it's the 7th of April. So let's go. Look, astrology time, right? I have astrology for you. Look, when's going to be in Sagittarius all day long? So this is actually a day to put our knowledge to the test. The knowledge that we've been gaining over the last day or so, right? Look, Mercury is still trine Jupiter and is rapidly approaching Mars, pulling Mars into a relationship with Jupiter, because they were in a trine and now Mars has already passed it, but yet that Mercury approaching Mars, they're going to be in a conjunction very soon, and that's going to be the third time, right? So we've got some stuff going on. We do, and that stuff that's going on is actually going to be really, really intense and fun, because we had that third meeting with this is going to be the third meeting of Mercury and Jupiter as well. Okay, so they're separating, but now as they're separating, Mercury is approaching Mars. So that is going to be very, very interesting. Mars is conjunct Pallas Athene, so perhaps cooler heads are quietly prevailing over the situation the U.S. is creating in the Middle East. Maybe. Mars is also approaching Neptune and Saturn. So we've got a lot of action on the table, right? And if that's not enough, Mars is going to enter Aries on Thursday. So our wisdom has caused us to wait until this particular day to really explore how we can significantly expand our reach, improve our effectiveness, and deliver some solid results for today and beyond. Should have an echo on there, right? Beyond, 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 beyond. Yes. So, that being said, Venus is conjunct Ceres. And now, this is kind of cool, right? Because Ceres is actually an asteroid, right? I believe it's the largest asteroid in the asteroid system, right? So, Ceres is, for all practical purposes, Demeter, right? The Roman version of Demeter. Now, think about this. Ceres is often considered to be a source of abundance due to her connection with grains, the harvest, and nutrition. Some people even consider Ceres to be a ruler of Virgo. Kind of interesting, right? The largest asteroid is a ruler. Kind of a curious take on things, right? Maybe a co-ruler. Mercury is the ruler of Virgo. However, think about this. Ceres, with that connection to abundance, is what we're interested in, because Venus is just gotten over conjunct with her, and they're separating at this point. Now, Ceres also has a connection to Mercury. So curiously enough, considered to be the co-ruler of Virgo, which some people do, has that relationship with Mercury because he was the agent who negotiated with Pluto on her behalf to get Persephone back, right? Hades, Demeter, Persephone, Hermes, right? So, in our cosmology, Ceres is Demeter. Let's just face it. We just blend all that stuff together, right? She's the mother of Persephone. Persephone's spirit never truly leaves the underworld, however. This is where the shadowy figure that I like to call Scorpia originates from. Now, this used to be an embodiment of that ideal, but it blended a couple of things, right? She's a supernatural projection of the queen of the underworld that embodies Scorpio's traits and fuses them together with some of Virgo's traits, which was kind of interesting, right? And did it in a kind of a sexy way, too. So, after all, Virgo is the archetype that is derived from Persephone. So why do I mention this now? Why would I even talk about this? Well, because I started writing, and as I write, writing for me is a cathartic process, and it just starts to get me thinking of things that I may have discussed before, right? Mars in the anaretic degree of Pisces. Talking about nostalgia, talking about going back to some origins and things like that. Yeah, we do tend to get nostalgic with the planets in water signs. We have Jupiter in a water sign, we have Mercury in a water sign, and we have Mars in a water sign. Mars is very close to that anaretic degree. So not only are we doing it, we're doing it hard. Okay, so now, with that, Mars in the anaretic degree is driving this point through Mercury to Jupiter and beyond. right? That was my beyond. It is a form of personal nostalgia, and this may very well mark a return to some of these earlier interpretations. They were crazy. They were fun, but we had them, right? It was how I was able to internalize and characterize the interactions of the various planetary aspects and groupings without saying, this is trine, this is a sextile, this is that. No, I was able to take some of those concepts and put them together and make a story out of them rather than just analyzing various aspects and be like, oh, well, this is going to lead to this. And it put a fun element in it because it gave it almost like a metaphorical or allegorical meaning, depending on the type of the story. Now, through made-up stories that served as contemporary takes on archetypes that were at play during the time, my astrology was presented via storytelling that embodied the astrological concepts I was presenting. And today's keyword is return. Now, return is very interesting because it can mean a couple different things. We can return to something that we did before, or we can get returns for things that we're investing in. I'd like to think of today as an investment of our time into those various things. So, return is a keyword. The release of Winter's Grip, okay, and the color, let's just get to the color, is the ultramarine blue of my iPhone 16. I bought it because I like that color. Okay, it's a good color. It's one of those colors that's power, right? It just projects that calm, steady, Jupiterian kind of Jovian feeling, if you would rather, right? That blue, that almost sky blue color. So we're releasing Winter's Grip, and it marks the return of Persephone to her mother, right? Spring. That's what we are going through. The Zodiac, however, is empty from Leo to Scorpio. Now, this is a great reminder that empty signs in your own chart still mean something. Okay? So even you look at your chart and you're like, oh, my sun is in Aries. My moon is in Aries. I don't have anything in, name a sign, right? I don't have anything in, say, Cancer. Cancer. Yeah, Cancer for me. Cancer for me works. Gemini works for me too. So, don't have anything there. Well, what's going on there then? Well, what's happening is that we talk about having planets in various signs, like I just did. And we often gloss over the fact that we have houses that are completely empty. The totality of our chart is much like the cosmos itself, right? Dark matter matters. So that's what we're finding out. What appears to be nothing is actually something. The energetic signature of these dark houses, because there's no planets in them, that's why I just decided to call them, is to be found by interpreting the sign that's ruling over that aspect of the house, right? Because it's said to rule over an aspect of our life, of our lives. And I just waved my hand in front of my face twice, which is really great television, let me tell you. And so what's happening is by corresponding that with the house number and finding the ruler of that house and where they're at in your chart and the condition that planet is in, we can tell about those empty sectors, right? Those dark sectors, the dark houses. So where does this come from? Well, Mars, as the ancient ruler of Scorpio, is what triggered this discussion today. Since Mars is the ruler of Aries, is grabbing all the attention, right? But that Scorpio house is sitting back there, and we're like, well, where is that? Well, I pulled up a random chart for today, right about midnight, and it was actually a grand trine between Pluto, Uranus, and the medium Celi, which is the midheaven, which happened to be in Scorpio. And that was just like, oh, look at that. Look at all that empty space around it. And then the medium Celi is right there. Oh, okay. So, right at midnight, Scorpio, talking about this stuff here. Grand, it becomes a grand, what is that? Is that Earth? Air? Well, it's very close because it's watery, earthy, all that stuff, right? Airy. We got airy, but we got right at that beginning of that part of, right at the very, very beginning of Scorpio. That's how it made a grand trine for that. So anyway, interesting, right? It's a part of how we read charts and stuff like that, the orbs and everything. We're going to get more into that too. But I just wanted to let you know that that's on my mind. This is what I've been thinking about. So, we have that sitting there, and that's what it grabbed my attention. So, yes, actions are going to be of paramount importance over the next few months while Mars is transiting Aries. Okay? And while you're pondering this, consider just how instinctual Mars is at a very basic level. Think about a great athlete, right? They say have great instincts, right? It's like the epitome of Mars with that athleticism, right? That activity and being able to do the hand-eye coordination and stuff like that. But a lot of it is instinctual, all right? And when you're, and it's an action-reaction dynamic. And sometimes that happens on a very subconscious level as well. So for you, just remember, don't overthink this. A good story reveals itself separately from the teller. Now, the moon in Sagittarius is trine the sun in Aries. It's a great time to get in a few nuts and bolts as to why this astrology thing works and why. We need to just get into it a little bit, right? It's a great time for you to do a similar thing also with your job. Think about this. Dig into available training and apply those tenets to real-life scenarios. That way, you're able to just know this stuff instinctually, right? That's why they drill. This is why they have drills, because the drill drills into it what you're supposed to do instinctually as you're performing a task or in an athletic sense, a play or something like that, or just physical reactions and, running through silly tires and stuff like that, or whatever else you have to do, right? So if we do that by gaining facility over these aspects of your job or creativity, for us, right, and we're not elite athletes by any stretch of the imagination, we improve our understanding of what it is that we need to do in the moments when we need to do it, right? When we're called upon to suddenly think on our feet, which is every day, especially for this guy. Anyway, I never walk into a similar situation in any given time. It's never cookie cutter. It's always got something to it and some kind of twist, and you have to make your way through the twist and turn. And the more times you repeat it and the more times you get through it, the better off you are. Okay. Look, every process here needs to be refreshed, okay? And everybody's processes always need constant refreshing. We can't get too comfortable, because if we get too comfortable, we just get, kind of blasé about the whole thing. We really need to just be able to refresh every once in a while and go through it. The sun trine moon, what that means here is that we're here for it, okay? We're here for it. That's something that we can feel this message is getting through to you in a way that you've heard it, and now that you heard it, you're going to be able to do something about it. Because what it does is it's going to give everyone a leg up on their competition, whatever that competition is. Now, don't underestimate the power of intuition. Instinctive Aries reactions are actually our intuition in disguise. The armor and the sword, those things are optional, right? All right, so the moon squares Mercury tonight. This is proof that overthinking can lead to a state of paralysis. It's going to seem frustrating because tangible results are hard to come by, right? Oh, my God, it's not working. Oh, Shane, what you told me is just not easy. Rather than let this bug you, know that you're investing in your future. Knowledge gained and applied takes time to bear fruit. You're not holding a ripe pumpkin here. What you're holding are the seeds of an entire harvest of pumpkins or whatever else you happen to be planting that's going to come with that new moon in Aries. Okay, so in 1954, the U.S. President Dwight D. Eisenhower, in a news conference, is the first to voice the fear of a domino effect of communism in the Indochina region. Now, whether this is, a valid theory or anything like that, it was the basis for intervening in the Vietnam War. Now, I put that out there because not all Republican presidents were batshit crazy, okay? Now, that domino effect may be, something that was, it was disproven or something like that, but it's not threatening to send somebody back to the Stone Age or anything like that. Just throwing that out there, okay? Especially with this Mars approaching the anaretic degree. I just want to be careful and make sure that cooler heads are prevailing over some of this nonsense. And our birth is... I've seen some stuff about people trying to remake the Rockford Files, so I figured why not get the original Rockford File guy, right? James Garner, born in 1928. He's an American actor. He's with the Rockford Files and Brett Maverick from the television show Maverick. Bunch of other stuff too, right? He's born in Norman, Oklahoma, and he died in 2014. All I can say about that is that I enjoyed him. And bring back that Pontiac Firebird, okay? He had them all through the show, and those things are pretty cool. And that's all I have for you. So let's recap, shall we? Today, I go long. The color is the ultramarine blue of my iPhone 16. Second time I've done this. Can't show it because this is what I'm filming on, right? And the keyword is return, as in, do I return to a previous format, or do we return to something... do we focus on returns that are due to us? And that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me. Appreciate and love every single one of you. Eve, I'm really thinking about that live stuff, okay? Maybe that will be what we return to, okay? Just don't know. We will see. And thank you so much for your comments. If you got any comments or suggestions like Eve does, just drop them in the chat. She's very good at those. I appreciate everybody who drops me comments, and I always comment back. So thank you very much. Today's a 7. Happy astrocatting.